if you have been using the disp command to display the outputs, now it is the time to upgrade your skills. Today I'm going to give you a new command, that is fprintf. It is a flexible and powerful function for formatting text and numbers. And I assure you that by the end of this video, you will be able to display everything from simple message to align the tables, and even you can write output to the files. So without wasting time, let's get started. So first of all, let me tell you what is fprintf command. Basically, this fprintf stands for formatted print function, and it is really important command to create clean customized output. It will let you control how the text and numbers appears into the command window. And using this, even you can save this text to the other file. This is the syntax to write fprintf command. The syntax may look complex, but it is simple once you break it down. And we are going to understand this using varieties of example. So now let's have an example. So first of all, we'll start with printing a simple text. Hello MATLAB, right? So for that, first we'll write fprintf into the brackets. In single inverted comma, we'll write hello, comma, MATLAB. So this text will be presented in output as it is. Now here this tiny thing /n, the /n at the end of the line will move the next output to the new line. Without the /n, everything you are going to print will be on the same line. So first of all, let's run this much only. So this is the output of this simple line. Now I'm going to modify it a little bit. We'll write hello MATLAB, I am Rudraj. And now let's run. So here is the result. Hello MATLAB, I am Rudraj. Now what if I'll remove this n? Now let's run again. So hello MATLAB, I am Rudraj. So this is the effect of /n, right? So now we'll move ahead. I'll create a new section. And now let's see, what if you want to format numbers in some precise manner, right? And for that, we are going to use some placeholders. So let me write command for that. Here it is. Let me make it a little bit bigger, right? So here this x and y is a predefined value, and here what I'm writing, fprintf into the bracket into inverted comma, the value of x is %d. Here this %d is just a placeholder for the decimal values. Here we are using this d because the value of x is in decimal, right? And then after we are writing, and the value of y is %.2f. Now this %f represents the placeholder for the floating point number, and with that we are adding some precision, and that precision is .2. That means we want to consider specifically 2 decimal places for that number after this point. So this is the value of x and y, and now when we run, you will be able to see the output here. Now let's run this section. The value of x is 42 and the value of y is 3.14. So instead of showing entire value, it just shows only 2 decimal after the point. Here the structure in the command is like this. Up to here it's clear to you that how the sequence flows. After that you place a comma and then specify the value, which value you want to place in place of d, and then the next is in place of y, and then in place of this f. This is really useful when we are going to do repetitive task. Now let's take another example. Now just imagine that you are running a loop and you want to display the results in every iteration. So in that case, this fprintf will be very much useful. Let us see an example. Here I am changing the value of I from 1 to 5, and what I am doing, fprintf iteration %d, and then I squared is %d/n. So in first percentage d, it will place the value of this I, and it will take the value of this I from here. And in second percentage d, it will place the value of I square. So here this d is just a placeholder, but it is a specific type placeholder. What type? D represents decimal, so it is specifically decimal placeholder. And now let's run this thing. So this is the result of this loop. Isn't it interesting? Right? This is really perfect for debugging or keeping track on our calculations. Now let's jump for the next example. Here what we are going to do, here we are going to create a file, and then we are going to write something into that external file. Here in this example, let's say you have a text file, you are doing some calculations, you are doing something in MATLAB, and you want to write that thing in the external text file, right? So how to do that? So the aim of this video is not to explain you or not to teach you how to create something for external file, but the aim is how to write something in external file. If you want to learn how to create an external file, then I have a separate video for that. The link is here in description box and here in I button. So you can watch that video to clear your concepts on how to create external file by writing codes in MATLAB. So this is the code to write something in external file. This is the variable file ID. We are going to open that file. The file name is output.txt, and what we're supposed to do, we are going to write. This is the folder where I have saved this output.txt file. I am opening it, and you can see the file is completely empty, right? So we are closing it now. So here by writing this command, what we are doing, this is the line to tell what file we want to open and what we want to do. We want to read or write. Now here is our fprintf. So we want to print something in this file ID, and what do we want to print? We want to print hello file /n. That means now whatever we'll write, it will be in next line. Then we'll come to the next line. fprintf file ID, this is the place where we are going to print something. And what we are going to print? This one. The value of pi is %.5f. F represents what? Floating point. And in that floating point number, we want 5 points precision after the point. What value will replace this f? Pi. And pi is by default variable in MATLAB. Just write over here pi and enter. It will show you the result, right? So if you just write pi, it is by default variable for pi value. And here we are going to close that file. So now we are going to execute this command. Let's run this thing. So we are here in this folder. We are going to open this text file, and there we go. Hello file, the value of pi is this. So this is how we can write something directly to the text file. The most important tip here is don't forget to close the file, otherwise it will create a problem. After this, we are going to explore another very interesting application of this fprintf. What if we want to create a clean table with some appropriate alignments? So to do that, we are going to use this fprintf. So first of all, we are going to write fprintf, and then into this bracket we are writing this %-10s %s/n. So here this thing, this is basically a format specifier. The %s represents the placeholder for string, and dash indicates the left alignment for the text. The digit 10 specifically represents the width of the text. If the text is shorter than 10 character, it will add the space to ensure the alignment. And then the /n, you know the use of this to shift to the new line. The same thing here. Over here in this %10s, this text or the string will be placed, and over here this 95.5 will be placed. Now just run this thing and see the result. So we have name and score. Alice, this much score. Bob, this much score. Now let me tell you that this digit has only one number after the point. And what here we are insisting, we want the precision of 2 decimal places, right? But here we have only 1 decimal. So in the result, what it shows is this. So it will round off that by using 0, but it will give us the precision of 2 decimal. So this will make our table look more professional. So now, before we move ahead, there is a quick short question for you, and the question is this. What is the purpose of this dash into this line? Think over it and write the answer in comment section below. And if you still don't know, just rewind the video, go through it, and then write the answer in comments. Now we'll go for another interesting exploration. That is, suppose if you want to place some scientific value or some engineering value for the calculations, then how to use this fprintf? So let's say this is our value and we are going to utilize it, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to write whatever text we want, and then we are going to specify this placeholder with percentage E. Basically, this percentage E is used for scientific notations, right? Which is used for engineering calculations or some science calculations. So now let's run this thing, and you can see over here value in scientific notation like this. So it is very useful when you are dealing with some scientific data or some engineering calculations. So these were some examples of using fprintf command. And let me tell you that we have disp command to showcase our output or to show some text in our output. But why do we prefer the fprintf over disp command? Using this fprintf, you can control every detail of how your data is to be displayed. This can work seamlessly with the text, numbers, and some specific characters. You can even save the result to the file for analysis or reports. These are the additional functionality which you will get with this fprintf, but that will not be with the disp command.